Hello?
Yo.
I found it. I fixed it. I think I'm on the right one now.
Hello.
Uh,
I found it. I fixed it. I think I'm on the right one now.
I heard you.
What is this? What does this room say though? It says the hippie hideaway safety check.
Yeah, I can't find it now.
Well, it should be under WTHC radio.
Yeah, WTAC radio is no live.
Curly Kel, is
I've
this
just
where we're
flicked on,
normally
it
at?
says I'm connected.
It says Curly Kel's high over there. Hi, Curly Kel. Can you tell us if this is the normal place we're on when we're here on YouTube? I have like 75 YouTubes, and I've seemed to have disconnected one, the wrong one. But I think I found this one back. All right. This is the one we need to be on all the time. Now, you were over.
Yeah,
You said
I've just seen Curly Calvert, yes.
Patreon. You said there was nothing on Patreon still?
Yes.
Not yet. When I was there wasn't.
I don't even know where to find it. Like, I don't even know where to. I can't figure out how to watch anything on Patreon. How do I find live on Patreon?
I don't know. I only follow you and that doctor we're having on. So notifications maybe down there at the bottom.
There's only one that has something on, and it's a little red bell. I mean, a little dot next to the red bell, but it doesn't say anything about us. It just mentions all the other wonderful Patreon people. And this is our normal YouTube, though, right, Curly Kel? Okay, that's good. That makes me feel a little bit better. Oh, I see.
I'm way too high for this.
I'm way too high for this.
Way too high for this. Well, I lost it. I can't find it on
yeah, there's a bit of a delay, but it's here. Okay. I found it, but I can't find it on Patreon yet. I need one of my friends to go over to Patreon. Oh, 3 people. Hi, 3 people. Is that all 3 of us now? Yay. We can do it on the radio and we can do it here.
I'm not watching on YouTube anymore. I can't find it. So one of them's not me.
Whoa, we went up to 4. All right. I think I fixed it.
Wait,
I just wish I could find it on Patreon right now, and then I would know
I found it, dude.
Everything would be all right.
I just had to restart my YouTube since you redid it.
Yeah. But I'm looking for Patreon there, little skunk.
Well, hang on a second.
Get that old guy. Yeah, he might help you. Old fella.
Hold on.
Help little skunk.
He is pretty helpless. Just sits around here and watches TV.
I'm in Discord. I didn't know that. No, I'm not in Discord. No. No Discord.
Curly Cal says you in Discord on Facebook.
I'm not on Facebook. No. Patreon. Let me spell it for you. Patreon. Patreon. Yeah. Go check Patreon if you have it. There is the ability to get in there and see if we're on live there. I made it so it was public. So, did I make it so it was public?
I thought you was going to actually.
God damn it. Let me see if I can edit it. Edit it. Oh, God. The title.
I think that's where Cousin Skunk is going to have a look. He should be back in a second.
Yeah, but I think that. You know what? I'm going to remove it. And now I'm going to add it. And they're going to be like, edit? What? No, I don't want to save changes. I don't know. I just turned it off and turned it back on. I don't know. Hi, guys. How are you? We're getting high over here. It is 2:18, just about time for, you know what? It is time. It's time, Robert. I'm going to get high. You guys, I think we lost Grandpa.
Is it time for our 420, bro?
Yeah, it's almost 4:20. Little Skunk. We lost Little
We
Skunk.
lost Little Skunky, man, but he should be back shortly.
He'll probably come back while we are celebrating our 420 celebration. Oh, wait, there he is, the Skunk Master and Little Skunk. Hi, Little Skunk. How's it going?
What's up, man?
So make sure you roll them and stay hydrated. Welcome back, Little Skunk.
Quiet over there, you orange freak.
Don't shoot the messenger. But
All
it's not, I couldn't find it on the new thing. I keep forgetting the name of it.
Yeah, Patreon.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that I forgot to. There's so many little things. They got to make it easier. Patreon, work with me. I'm special. I smoke a lot of weed. I forget to put it. There's a button
My
there.
favorite coffee. I smoke a.
I smoke a.
My favorite coffee.
Closer to the screen, Little Skunk. No, Little Skunk doesn't like to hang out in front of the screen. He's chill. He hangs out back there.
Well, until this dude gets me set up proper, this is about the best I got.
Yeah, tell the fans that they need to recognize. See, I'm little Skunk, and you need to recognize.
The little skunk in the house.
Yeah, tell her. And now I want to say, I think that we're back on, but I think it's private, so only. Oh, well, no, then you would have probably been able to see it, right, buddy?
I think since I paid the $420 yearly lifetime membership.
Oh, that's not right. It's $4.20 a month. That's less than 13 cents a day.
Oh.
You're going to want it because when I do eventually get this all figured out, everybody's going to be paying that to come hang out and watch when we sit down with all of our celebrity guests.
Yeah, like you know who tomorrow.
Like our friend.
Skunk,
I will admit, it is absolutely awesome.
Skunk Master was telling me about this.
Yeah, Skunk Master needs to quiet down. He keeps giving out all our secrets. Happy 420, everybody out there.
Stay hydrated.
Oh man, that looks like it's our last one, man.
That is our last one, man.
Good thing we can scrape the pipe, bro. Never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Gee! Morning had to scrape my pride. Knew that when I went to bed last night. Had a premonition in my head that I never gonna wake bankrupt again. Jumped on my bike and pedaled downtown on the lookout for the one John Brown. Found him in a corner parking lot, smoking spliffs and said, "Here, man, you want to take a heat?" I said, "I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again. Never gonna be bankrupt again." Went back home to put 96.1. Jah in control of the ebb and flow. Planting seeds, putting flowers in my hand so that I will never awake and croak again. I said I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Always bring a flower to my friends. Always connecting to the music of medicine. Always finding ways to sing. Positivity and healing vibes. Always attracting my tribe. Always vulnerable to the tides. Always accountable for my strides. Holding on, not folding beyond. Letting go and letting you know. Bankrupt isn't never gonna be a part of my flow. I said I'm never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Driving around, I see John Brown and said, dead dumb and him said, him never gonna be bankrupt again. I said, hey John Brown, can I give you a hand so that you yourself will never be bankrupt again? I said, never gonna be bankrupt again. 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 Wow!
Welcome back. Welcome back. You're hanging with the Hippie and the Hippie Hideaway. This is my little hideaway, and these are my friends. I got little Skunk down there, and of course, I got the Braggy with the baggy over there. And we are an official podcast. Yes, we are a podcast. And we're going to be here from now on every day from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Hippie,
I'm sorry, Skunk. What did you say, buddy?
did you say podcast?
Yeah, podcast.
Okay, I was just making sure. I was confused.
Yeah, that's RSO for you, buddy.
I've never heard of a podcast.
Well, we are the first, I think. Well, I don't want to say we're the first because there may have been somebody else out there that came up with that, but I like it. I think it fits. We are a podcast. We are not a podcast. We're a podcast. P-O-T cast. Anyway, we are a cast of characters that hang out every day and get high and have fun, and you're hanging with us in the hideaway. And then we have another show every week that goes on at least once a week. That's called In the Green Room with the Hippie and friends. And sometimes the friends are there. Sometimes some of the friends are there. Sometimes all the friends are there. Sometimes we don't have any friends. Are you waving? Who are you waving to, buddy? Hi.
I want you to tell them who's in the green room this week.
Oh, well, that's what I was just about to get to, buddy. Little Skunk, I was just about to tell him. We have tomorrow at 4 a special time because the green room usually is an evening time thing, but this young lady is special. And I don't mean like this guy special. I mean she's amazing. She's amazing. Sorry, Sky Daddy. Raggy with the baggy. I was just kidding. But I don't. Yeah, no. She is a doctor, PhD, and she actually agreed to. I don't know what she's getting herself into, but she's coming to hang out with us, me and Little Skunk, and maybe a couple others. I don't know. Depends. It depends on how everybody behaves today. But me and Little Skunk will definitely be here, and Dr. Riley Kirk, PhD. Actually, I wanted to look up some videos, so you guys entertain for a second while I look up videos, okay?
All right.
You talk and tell the poodle to talk to.
Hey, whoops! I made him disappear.
That's not good.
He saw these guns, brother.
That's not a good thing. I'm still here. You can still see me, right?
Yes, I have that effect on people.
I know. That's why we brought you aboard. That's pretty much why we brought you aboard.
Yeah.
Was your ability to take care of security. And then you turned out to be pretty cool. So now you're a security and DJ extraordinaire.
Yeah. Well, this guy is.
Let me try to figure out how to find our friend, Dr. Kirk, on here. God darn it, I don't know what I'm doing here.
I don't know, but I looked her up on YouTube, dude. She's got a ton of videos on there.
Oh, she's amazing, dude. Yeah. I love her.
I may forego Thursday night football and watch videos.
Oh shit! Is tonight Thursday? Who's playing tonight?
I want to say the 49ers maybe and the Falcons.
Ooh.
But don't quote me on that. I
never would quote you, buddy. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm having a hard time here, though. I don't know where to find. I'm on Patreon, but I can't find her page. How do I? My page? No. Audience?
Well,
my audience. She doesn't follow me. I follow her. She's the celebrity. Promotions, community, maybe in my community. Oh no, so close. Oh, maybe no. Direct messages, no. Are you guys still there? Please speak up. Where'd the orange fella go? He left.
I'm here.
No, the other orange.
I don't know.
The other orange fella.
Right.
All right. Well, we won't worry about it for now. I wanted to. Well, I kind of wanted to do it though. I wanted to play some of them videos, man. You're killing me, bro. You're killing me, bro. You're killing me. Let me see if I can do it a different way.
Made the adjustment.
Let me see if I can do it a different way. You're in charge. Don't talk.
Yeah, you're fine.
You're like Hippie. Say it. Just say it. Say Hippie. You're fucking amazing.
Hippie, you're fucking amazing, bro.
I am. I have to agree. I am. I hope that she's okay with us using her clips. I'm pretty sure she's not going to be upset with us using some of her clips. I was watching this one. Where is it? Oh, don't tell me it's not in the right place.
I saw a little of the one where she was talking about Delta 9.
Oh, yeah, I saw a little bit of that. I saw that whole one, but I don't know if I can find that one again. But
long story sooner. Don't do it.
oh, Delta 9's not good.
Right.
Oh, is that something that I've been saying for 4 years now?
You
And people still don't fucking listen to me?
since I know you anyway.
Yeah. Since I met Dr. High, God bless his heart.
Right.
He saved us. Him and I might not talk, but I mean, him and I, he gave us a lot of great information. He shared a ton of great information with us about marijuana.
Unfortunately, some of them don't listen, man.
Yeah, well, I can't get them. I can't force everybody to listen.
Right.
Like he couldn't force me to listen when I said we're not working together anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
All right, this is a 55-second long one. I'm gonna try to figure out how to put it up in here so that hold on.
Hi, my name's Dr. Riley Kirk. I'm a cannabis research scientist, and this
video is stop. I don't want people to hear you. All right, now let me go back here. Let me go share screen. Go here. No, Dr. Riley Kirk, you got to go over here. All right, now I can share screen. Share. There she is. All right. Woo! We got it.
Why only $5?
No.
Hi, my name's Dr. Riley Kirk. I'm a cannabis research scientist, and this video is about hemp-derived Delta-9 THC. And this gets a little more complicated than Delta-8 because Delta-9 THC is the version of THC that we know and love from the cannabis plant. The issue is, in the hemp market, the Delta-9 that we're seeing is not always from the plant. Some of it is being produced synthetically, and some of it is just being extracted as normal. And it's really hard to tell the difference of what's natural and what's not. This paper that's linked in my bio found that about 50% of products on the market were made from synthetic THC that was made by converting THC from CBD, whereas the other half of products were made from the naturally occurring THC. And although we always say to look at the certificate of analysis, this paper really highlights that although 85% of the products were tested and had a COA, 75% of them did not test.
You okay over there, little skunk?
I'm good, man.
Thought you were having a coughing attack.
My medicine went down the wrong tube.
Oh, no, medicine went down the wrong pipe. Well, we could talk to Dr. Kirk. I got to get used to calling her Dr. Kirk. I don't know why I feel like I should call her Riley. I have a very good friend from all my life, and her name was Kirk. Her last name was Kirk as well, and we always called her Kirk. So this is going to be very hard for me not to call her Kirk. Kirk, what's up, Kirk? Because that was my girl, Kathy, and she was a Kirk. And now this is a Riley, and she's a Kirk. I'm wondering if they're related. I'm going to find out tomorrow. Anyway, here, hopefully she is. That would be cool.
This is not going to be a problem.
Big issue with synthetic products. It's a really sticky gray area. Drop your questions in the comments.
Why only $5?
Hey! No, that is not going.
Hi, my name's Dr. Riley Kirk. I'm a cannabis research scientist, and this video is about hemp-derived.
All right, let's see if I can find something better. We got time, right? We got time.
Yeah, I thought they automatically played the next one.
Usually they do. I don't know why I went
That's
this.
all.
Oh, maybe because I'm not subscribed. That was a lie, Riley Kirk. I love you. I was subscribed. I promise. It was.
Shame on you, Mr. Hippie.
Oh my God, I can't. Well, I follow her on Patreon. I haven't gotten to all the other platforms. You forget, Mr. Little Skunk, that I am not allowed to play anywhere out here, and I'll probably be kicked off today for something I did.
I was going to say that.
Well, we'll find out soon enough. All right, this one says The Science of Cannabis with Dr. Riley Kirk and Dr. Maya B. Shields. Maya B. Shields. Maybe Shields. Part 1 of episode. No, I don't want to do something that has like a couple episodes because I can't guarantee we'll ever get back to I mean, I will, but I can't guarantee everybody else will be able to, you know. And there's thousands of us out here watching right now, so it's going to be amazing. Amazing. What about this one? Because I know ladies out there. No, well, this one is an hour and 22 minutes long, but we'll take breaks. And it's about getting pregnant and discussing the science of using cannabis while pregnant. And I know a few people out there who have discussed this with me in the past.
My mom did. Look at me now.
In the weed
Look at you. You're pregnant?
with your flower.
No, not yet. I'm trying though.
Home use. I highly encourage that you do, especially if you buy your
You
flowers.
might want to hit up our
The
former
packs come in a
president. I think
variety
he's
of sizes,
king or
depending on how
daddy
much
or
bud
big
you have
daddy
at
of
home.
IFV,
They are incredibly
IVF,
useful
or
and
whatever it
affordable,
is.
and I noticed a huge difference
I
when
just kidding.
these, and now I could never go back.
No.
I also want to note that every single Bovida employee that I have spoken with has been incredibly happy working at this company, and I have so much respect
I love
for
this
them
company.
being an ethical
They should
employer and
sponsor me
helping
too,
fund
company.
education like this podcast.
I love
If you
those
want to
things.
purchase some Bovida packs, the links will be available in the show notes of this episode.
Yeah, I'll give you guys those when it's time.
Right.
Here she is, the wonderful Dr. Riley Kirk. I hope she's wonderful. I haven't met her yet. She could be a real jerk, you know. Come on, you be mean and yell at us. I don't like puppets.
All right,
You
welcome
did?
to Bioactive
I
Podcast.
don't
I'm
know.
your host, Dr. Riley Kirk. This is episode 8, all about cannabis, pregnancy, and breastfeeding. Before we get started on this episode with our special Megan, who is a cannabis nurse and educator, I want to review some of the previous research into cannabis use during pregnancy and breastfeeding, just to make sure we get as much on the table as possible before we start the general conversation. Cannabis is becoming increasingly popular as a self-medication during pregnancy and breastfeeding as more states begin to legalize recreational cannabis and it becomes more accessible. We know people are using cannabis, and instead of just saying, don't do it, we're going to provide information for the best way to prevent harm to yourself and your baby during this time if this is something that you choose to do. The research is legitimately all over the place for both cannabis while pregnant and cannabis while breastfeeding. Researching pregnant women using cannabis is unethical in control settings, and most of the data is gathered via survey data or self-reported cannabis use, which often people are afraid to tell the truth when we're gathering data in this way, which I don't blame them at all for. There are almost always confounding variables such as the use of other substances during these studies and extreme differences in dose and consumption method of cannabis during this time. It's recommended that if you're not already a cannabis user and if you're not suffering from something like hyperemesis gravidarum and don't have a medical reason to use cannabis during this time in your life, it's generally recommended that you abstain from cannabis use altogether. I'm going to say this a billion times during this episode, but this is not medical advice in this episode. This is just talking about the science and some personal opinions on harm reduction. With mild cases of nausea or vomiting, many people are recommended to try to use safe natural products such as ginger or the strychnine tree called Nux vomica, or even taking supplements like vitamin B6 with the assistance of an herbalist or a doctor. Cannabis has a long history of being an aid in childbirth, to aid in the pain for the mother with no documented adverse effects. And these are kind of traditional uses, so we may not be monitoring the same endpoints that we're currently monitoring with modern research. There's a variety of reasons why someone may want to use cannabis, as the potential benefits to using the plant may outweigh the risks of other things. We just discussed hyperemesis gravidarum. This is a great example because some mothers may not be comfortable to the prescriptions that they may be offered as an alternative, because everything has risks when you use it during pregnancy. If the mother is under extreme levels of stress, either physically or emotionally, this is another great reason, because maternal stress has been linked to many adverse outcomes like preterm birth, issues with neurocognition, behavioral disorders, issues with the endocrine system, and motor development aberrations in the child. And many of the alternative treatments to chronic stress are things like pharmaceutical drugs like SSRIs, benzodiazepines, etc., which in my opinion are likely more harmful than the low doses of cannabis. There's also a very, very wide group of people who are already using medical cannabis, and they are patients in medical programs in various states, or they're self-medicating for a reason to use medical cannabis for. It would be extremely difficult and stressful on their body if this is the only medicine that they have used that have worked for them for a specific condition, to abruptly stop using that medicine and now have to deal with the both physical and emotional stress of being pregnant on top of the other conditions that they're using medical cannabis
I thought she was talking about weed.
Also, many people are addicted or using things like opioids or other pharmaceutical drugs that, as they wean off of these substances during their pregnancy, they may turn to using some medical cannabis to help with the withdrawal symptoms.
Hallelujah.
That may be for a short amount of time, or
that's
for
what I did when I was
long amount of
pregnant.
time. But we know that the dependency on substances like opioids during pregnancy have a clear association with neonatal abstinence syndrome. The 2017 National Academies of Sciences, Engineering,
She may be
and
way
Medicine
too smart
performed a
for us.
review on all the available data collected during pregnancy,
I might have to
and
talk
reached
to
some
her
of the
before the show
following
and tell her to dumb it down a bit.
There's limited evidence of any statistical association.
All right, dumb it down a bit. You're using
smoking
big words here, lady.
Pregnancy complications to the mother. 2, there is substantial evidence for a association between maternal cannabis smoking and lower birth weight of the child. We're going to talk about this more in a second. 3, there is insufficient evidence of an association between maternal cannabis smoking and later outcomes in offspring, like sudden infant death syndrome, cognition issues, academic achievements, and later substance use or abuse disorders. So let's focus on the association of cannabis and a lower birth weight for a minute. It's actually really not likely that cannabis itself is causing this association. It's actually the act of smoking that's causing this association. The changes in birth weight are consistent with exposure to any smoke. This is whether it's from cannabis or other commonly smoked things like cigarettes, or maybe something else that people are smoking. When researchers
what about a chimney, young lady? What about a chimney?
For any smoking exposure and not just for cannabis smoking exposure, there was no association with lower birth weight of newborns and cannabis specifically. Smoking is not recommended as a consumption method while pregnant. We will talk about some other methods of consumption that may offer less harm later in this episode.
Yeah, have your husband stuff it up your ass.
Newborn, there has been
your husband stuff it up your ass.
Neonatal intensive care unit admissions for mothers who are using cannabis. But all evidence for this suggests that this is a product of mandatory admission to the NICU when mothers fail a toxicology screening test. This is really, really messed up and needs to be changed immediately, as it prevents the bond of a new mother, a newborn, and breastfeeding, And we should not be treating new mothers this way in
It's
hospital settings or
illegal.
anywhere. There's still limited data on exactly how much of the THC that the mother is ingesting can actually cross the placenta. Although we know it is able to readily enter the placenta, but we're not really sure as
She
far
said
as compared to
placenta.
maternal exposure.
Right.
What we do know is that the endocannabinoid system is critical for development of a healthy baby and a healthy brain. And what we want to do is we want to limit the exposure of THC. Although we don't have human data for this, animal models suggest that exposure of a fetus to moderate levels of THC are consistent with potentially developing symptoms similar to anxiety. As far as other neurological conditions such as autism,
I got anxiety.
ADHD, and other brain states, we don't have enough data on these to date to make any conclusions. If you think there's limited data on THC use during pregnancy, there's even more limited data on CBD use during pregnancy, especially in human subjects. One study evaluating animal models found moderate to high levels of CBD resulted in lower levels of norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin, specifically in the male offspring. But the same effect was not seen with THC exposure. The most common reason that pregnant women are using cannabis seems to be for hyperemesis gravidarum, or HG, PTSD, and chronic pain, which all of these conditions are difficult to treat or may be treatment resistant.
I think my
but
wife
do
suffered
respond
from all
very
of them.
well to cannabis, likely due to its
She
effect
is
on the
trauma. She has
endocannabinoid system,
PTSD from
and
having
as the system
children.
being a main player in the pathology of these conditions.
Oh, I'm not joking.
In one study with women with HG who used cannabis to treat nausea, 37 out of 40 participants considered cannabis to be extremely effective or effective at controlling their symptoms of HG. All right, let's also touch on the research of cannabis and breast milk.
I love breast milk.
Is a beautiful concoction of hundreds of unique substances that sustain life. Included in this mixture are endocannabinoids, the ones that our own body makes. These endocannabinoids can help the newborn develop the latch response to the mother and assist in breastfeeding.
Wow, that explains my
It is
daughter.
important to be cognizant that cannabinoids produced by the plant, like THC, are fat soluble, and they will make their way into breast milk if you are using cannabis regularly. So let's talk about how much
for a second here.
THC can actually enter.
Did you hear that? I don't quote me because I'm stoned, but I heard what I thought I heard is that she just said that children who breastfeed, I guess, get a better meal than when you're using formula when it comes to your endocannabinoid system. And that's why I said that explains my daughter as a joke, but she was not she was lactose intolerant from birth, and she's allergic to everything in the world, unfortunately. Yeah, she's really bad. She can die right now. She's so allergic. But anyway, God, hope not. But anyway,
not too bad.
But yeah, she's very allergic to she has to keep an EpiPen with her. She's allergic to
She's
food.
a very clever lady.
She's
and
allergic.
I got confused halfway through.
I saw her scatter from the bees at the camp out. Yeah,
she's allergic from bees. She's allergic to everything. She's allergic to the air. She's allergic to the dirt, the sand, the grass, the grow, the snow, the cold, everything. Everything. They were like, "You're just a walking allergic," and so she has an EpiPen in her purse at all times, and she hasn't used it. She suffers through a lot of this snot coming out of her head and stuff like that, but she's pretty good overall. This has been amazing. I know that I have some friends out here that are, well, some of my friends have passed the age of giving birth. Some friends still think they are at that age to give birth, and some of my children's friends are at that age of giving birth. So I think this is very interesting, and I feel like that endocannabinoid system that we never really even knew about. If we remember when we used to talk to Dr. High about it, it was never something that they ever spoke of, and now we've learned more and more about it as the marijuana secrets and the lies of marijuana, we'll call it. I'm going to write a book, The Lies of Marijuana. and publish it. Yeah. So let's get back to her. This is very interesting. I hope you guys are enjoying. If not, I'm sorry. Suck it up,
dude.
Her breast milk. And for this, we actually do have some data on it. For mothers who inhaled 100 milligrams of cannabis at 23% THC, the authors calculated that the breastfed infants would receive 2.5% of the mother's dose of THC per kilogram of body weight. Now, I'm obviously not going to make you guys do math. So just for how relevant these numbers are, what the authors estimated the daily infant dose would be is about 8 micrograms per kilogram per day. And say your baby weighs
moved on
pounds, that's about 4.5 kilograms. So that would be 36 micrograms per day that infant would be exposed to. The authors also found that the concentration in the breast milk peaked at 1 hour and receded over the next 4 hours. So again, it's advised to use as little as possible, although I genuinely don't think it's necessary to pump and dump. Instead, I think it would make sense to try to use cannabis after breastfeeding, or to dilute breast milk with potentially low levels of THC with some other breast milk that may have none in it to reduce those levels.
So what do you like? You have like a breast milk group of women who hang out. I don't smoke, so I got fresh breast milk, and let's just use one of our friends, Raggy. He's there, and he says, I got tainted breast milk. Do they then they switch it and share it? Is that what happens?
Well,
what's your question, little skunk?
If they have tainted, I guess, breast milk in one breast, where do they get the untainted from?
The other breast, no?
I wouldn't think. I think it's all tainted.
It's like leaded and unleaded.
I don't know, but I think that word tainted.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, if say my wife, your wife, and Rag's wife, and Curly Cal, we'll just use her as an example, are all there. And Curly Cal and my wife are big dope smokers. They're potheads because they have to deal with their crazy husbands. And then your wife and Raggy's wife, they don't smoke marijuana. She's saying you can dilute your marijuana-laced milk, which won't be very marijuana-laced in the first place, depending on how much you smoke.
Right.
Now, we can talk to her about that at another time, hopefully. But depending, if you're an average smoker or you smoke once a day or whatever, you could probably switch milk. And I think that all goes to that endocannabinoid system thing, that when you, say if you're on a formula, you're not getting that stuff, and that's what I want to know. Is my daughter special because she didn't get breast milk? Because then I'm going to sue. I'll sue somebody. I don't know who, but she's allergic to breast milk. Anyway, back to the show.
Further, one study found that THC levels in breast milk was average about 10 nanograms per milliliter after 6 days, with the mom stopping using cannabis. And to compare, the level of our body's own endocannabinoids in breast milk is about 200 nanograms per milliliter. So 10 nanograms per mil is extremely low. It is still incredibly variable what the legal landscape is like for using cannabis while pregnant or breastfeeding in states with recreational cannabis and states without recreational cannabis. I would really love to hear about your personal experience with this, and if you're willing and you're comfortable sharing in any way, please message me on the Bioactive Podcast Instagram. And if you work in a hospital, specifically a labor and delivery section of the hospital, I definitely want to hear
I would love to.
Be careful who you talk about this with.
Yeah,
I'm
don't listen
genuinely
to
not sure what the current status of drug testing mothers is in the country, but I would definitely make sure you trust the people that you share this information with.
Let me stop right there and say, do not trust the hippie.
Why not?
Or little skunk, or because I ain't taking credit for nothing, bro. I will talk to her and we will talk, but I am no expert in anything. I only give advice. I'm an expert at talking. I don't know. I mean, everything she says sounds great, but if she's covering her own ass, then I better cover mine. You know.
I would
With that
think, yes.
said, I am not a mother, but if I was going through something like HG during pregnancy, I would absolutely turn to cannabis as my first source of medicine, as I trust it with my
I
health
like this
much
chick.
more than any medication on
This is
planet
Hippie.
Earth.
You're out.
And I genuinely think that in many cases, the use of cannabis in low doses can be used as a harm reduction mechanism versus other alternative treatments or extreme stress on the mother.
You
And
got a
on that
question?
note, let's dive into this
No.
episode.
I'm sorry. Did you say you had a question?
No question. I was just pointing out she uses low doses quite a bit, I noticed.
Yeah, well, I was watching one of her videos. She doesn't smoke a lot, I don't think. I think that she uses it for medicine, you know.
Right.
She said something about eating a 5 milligram edible and being in a good place. And then 10 or 20 is fucking rocking her world. So, I mean, you know, I don't know, to each his own. That's why there's so many things I would love to talk to her about. Since our episodes back in the day when we used to talk to Dr. High, I've learned more, and I've learned more about myself. So I'm very excited to talk to her. And of course, I'm looking forward to getting Dr. Harris back on. And I would love to have a conversation with her and Dr. Harris one day. Hopefully that we can make that happen as well. Here we go. Let's get back to it.
All right.
Today, we have an awesome guest and an awesome topic. So we have Megan Bang, or Trusted Canoners on social media, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, all of the things, and Facebook. And the topic today is cannabis and pregnancy. So you are a registered nurse, which is so important, but you also have some experience working with labor and delivery and like with pregnant women. So if you want to just give like a little more of a background on, you know, what you do currently and, you know, what you have done in the past, and we'll go from there.
All right, perfect. So yeah, my name is Megan Bang. I've been a registered nurse for 10, 11 years, something like that. I started my career at Johns Hopkins working bone marrow transplant and oncology, and then moved to labor and delivery while I was there. And then I moved to the West Coast 6 years ago now and did labor and delivery, travel nursing, and then I switched to home hospice, and now
Just to catch you up, Sean, this is the young lady on the right here, Dr. Riley, not the girl introducing herself, but Dr. Riley Kirk. I'm sorry, Dr. Kirk.
Long dark haired woman.
Yeah, the one with the dark hair. She'll be on the show tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. She's coming on to hang out with us. Let me get back to this.
I own my own business as a cannabis nurse. So right now I teach people how to use cannabis as medicine. And we have microdosing programs as well. So yeah, with labor and delivery, I did 2-3 years of L&D. And that was well before my time of like knowing really anything besides, you know, propaganda on cannabis.
Right.
And I had moved to California right around the time of legalization, 2018, when they went, I think it was 2016 or something, but it was still early. So yeah, cannabis wasn't very prominent in my practice at that time.
Absolutely.
But now I think it's definitely more like it's out there. We have people creating content and putting it out there about their use in pregnancy.
Yeah, I mean, even back when you were an L&D nurse, was this something that came up a lot?
L&D, labor and delivery, for anybody who doesn't know.
You know, it was more open
Thank you.
about it.
There were not open conversations. This is what we did when I worked Hopkins, is we drug tested everybody on admission. And if they came up positive for THC, we would not let the moms breastfeed because we were told that
we were lied to back in the
passed
day
through the milk and it was still growing development.
Right. Well,
And
there you go.
back, I want to
Still being lied to.
Or still being lied to, right? But that's the conversation. I mean, she's talking, you know, however many years ago, and we were still being lied to then. And so now it's not saying I don't know her final verdict on how much, you know, like she's going to tell us. I don't know if we'll ever talk to her about this, but we're discussing this, and I think it's great. But it's interesting, you know, like she's saying, back in the day, we were lied to. We were told that we weren't allowed to do this because it was bad. But hey, we were given all these other medications to make the pain go away, shooting us up with what's that shit called when they put it in your ass there, the one in what's it called, the one the one where they give you the one in your back, it's called something
Epidural.
yeah, the epidural. Yeah, what's that shit filled with? I'm sure that's, thank you, I couldn't, they're shooting you up with an epidural to kill the pain, but I could have just smoked the fatty and been like, yo, let's push this shit out my ass. Come on. And
Right.
I'm joking about it. It's not a joking topic, but I mean, all these years they've been just fucking lying to us, and they're still lying to us, and still, like, I know that both of them have now put on the ballot. Now I'm talking about politics, and I don't like to do that, but they're just lying. They're all right. We're gonna pass weed now because that's just what they want. They want us to be happy, and they want us to pick down. Don't fall for their shit. It's all lies, man.
Like, scratch my eyeballs out, because like that was such a detrimental practice. Like, just because it's in the urine does not mean that it's going through the breast milk. And even if it is going through the breast milk, we have to look at the risks versus benefits. And we know that breastfeeding can help with like everything with babies. So denying mothers that right was so unethical looking back.
Right. And like across the board too, like with like no exceptions, not expectations,
right,
on that rule. Like, that's very harmful. And as you're saying too, like, cannabis stays in your body and you can test positive like 30 to 60 days after you stop using
depending
cannabis.
on how large
So
you are.
even, one of the questions.
Depending on how big you are. My wife and I've slimmed down quite a bit here, and so is she. I mentioned it, but the big guy over here, he's getting fatter and fatter. But anyway, in his blood, it's gonna stay for weeks. He took a drug test one time. He quit for a month. He drank 2 of those drinks. He drank a fucking gallon of water. Pissed all day. He drank a gallon of water on his way to this test, and failed the drug test. And it was at least a month. He didn't smoke no flower, no, there was none of those concentrates or anything like that. And then he walked in and he took a test. It was a big test for a good job that would have changed my whole life. And I ended up losing that job because of failing a drug test for marijuana.
She says 36 days. 30 days is
Yeah.
on average.
30 to 60, I think she said 30. 30 to 60, I think she said.
Questions we got was, if I am a heavy cannabis user and I just find out that I'm pregnant, should I, immediately stop using cannabis? And I think something we'll talk about during this episode is like the stress on the mother and how that could be a factor as well. So, I mean, whenever somebody's either taking a tolerance break or stopping using cannabis or even starting using cannabis, I always recommend people taper on, taper off. So like if you are a heavy cannabis user and you find out you're pregnant, maybe over the next week or two, slowly start decreasing the amount of cannabis you're using. So it's less stressful on you as the mother. So that that can be safer for the child as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. And then, what else can you do to supplement your ECS while it's, getting back into balance? What else can you do? So I think
that's a great point.
I want to make a point here.
Yeah,
Can
so
I stop
things like,
you guys?
we talked
Thank
about.
you. I'm going to stop you guys. Thank you. I want to make a point too. Like, and I don't know why I'm making this point, but you go back to these guys. All right, they're both nurses. One's a nurse and one's a doctor, right? And you're telling me that these ladies didn't use anything while they were in college? I mean, most of them probably didn't, but I'm not saying these two did. I'm just saying, like, it's like bullshit that, doctors have to hide the fact that they're using it as medicine when it's medicine. It helps with everything. It helps with every fucking thing.
Like meditation a lot, or just general exercise, or other things that just kind of bring you joy. But I think a normal, nice kind of place to start here maybe is breastfeeding, because that's kind of you just wrap that up. And well, first of all, our body produces our endogenous cannabinoid molecules, right? endocannabinoids,
What she
endocannabinoids, whatever
said.
you want to call them. Our body produces them, and they are vital for a lot of things, including the latch response of new babies to their mother. That's part of what helps them latch on to the nipple and start feeding. So they are very, very important. And as you're talking about the levels of cannabis, if you're smoking,
She said nipple.
if you're consuming cannabis in any way, the levels that are actually reaching the breast milk are quite small. I know you did a TikTok about this. Would you mind kind of talking about what levels we're really seeing that actually get into the breast milk?
Right. Such a great question. So there have been a few studies on this. They looked at like regular cannabis users, and it's been a couple of weeks since I've looked at it. So it's such a small percentage that goes through, but basically in regular cannabis users, the babies got like less than 0.02 milligrams, I think is the number.
I think you said
like a total-
0.006 was like the number that actually was like detected, milligrams detected in the breast milk.
Right. Like in a 24-hour period. And that's such a really, that's a very small amount. However, these moms, this is a little bit earlier, so these moms were smoking flower. They were not doing concentrates. And I think that's an important point to talk about as well.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, I mean, the main concern here.
Good point. Yeah, let's talk about that, because nowadays, back when our parents were pushing us out, it was basically just flour, maybe some hash oil, if you came across some hashish, and then of course you had the white devil, but we don't want to talk about that here. But nowadays you got all these different concentrates, not to mention the poisons that we're going to talk about with her tomorrow, because that's definitely one of the topics I want to talk to her about, is the fact that some of these carts that you're buying, that people are buying, not me, because I refuse, but I've been trying to explain to a lot of people that you can't go and just buy these carts from anywhere, that they're bad, and we're going to get into that tomorrow. But think about all the shit that you could be smoking now, then driving, having a baby, who knows, back when the spice came out, when spice flour came out, it looked like weed, and you could walk into anywhere. How many kids were born then when their mom was accidentally smoking spice, or something to that effect?
Right.
I don't, that's very interesting. Let's keep it going.
Is THC, right? The main concern is THC, not really these other compounds. Actually, I don't even think CBD has been studied at all for pregnancy or even breastfeeding. There's been like no studies on it. But the
I
main
would say
concern
that
is
would be
THC
very safe,
because it does bind to the CB1 receptor, and that could, potentially cause some effects. I think a big part of like the harm reduction topic here is like, if you are going to use cannabis, it really does. You should really try to aim to use the least amount of THC possible for the outcomes that you're looking for. So, I mean, I will preface this. I mean, first I need to say none of this in this podcast is medical advice.
Me too.
Just to,
Time out. Time out.
Here. Nothing is medical.
Yeah, nothing here is medical advice either. Unless a little skunk, you got a PhD down there or something?
Not in medical marijuana, no.
All right. So, and what about you down there, Raggy, with the baggie?
I got THC, but not a PhD.
Got THC.
He got THC. All right. Welcome back, Sean. Yeah. So I love this. This has been a great episode already. I'm excited to see the rest. I hope we have enough time. I keep
I've
stopping.
got to admit, it is pretty awesome. It's pretty class.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Very informative.
It is, yeah, and I like the way that we're doing this. I might get her. I might talk to her about doing something like this, or I got some plans, man. I got some plans. I like this. This is very interesting.
Terrible nausea. You're vomiting all the time. You're really sick. You have some sort of other condition, whether it's chronic pain or fibromyalgia, something that you only find relief from cannabis from. You should really try to use the smallest amount of THC possible to get the endpoints that you're looking for, and really like titrating lower and lower to get those effects.
Relax, everybody. She's talking about pregnant women, not everybody. If you're just joining us, pregnant women, we'll talk to her about it in the future, but yeah, that's what she was talking about.
I would really not condone recreational use of cannabis. If you're just, smoking to smoke because you love it, I think pregnancy probably is the wrong time to continue that. But there's so many medical patients.
So Miss people out there, you know who I'm talking to, right, gentlemen? You got your hand up, little skunk. Go ahead.
I forget now.
Oh well, I'm
He's got THC too.
No,
So it sounded like she just said if you are pregnant, she wouldn't recommend it.
Right.
Unless you're using it for medical reasons. So if you have your medical card and you just went and lied and said, "Yeah, I'm crazy. Give me my medical card so I can get weed," you shouldn't really do it because it's not great for your child. But if you do it in low doses, it isn't gonna hurt or damn. Well, we don't know the final.
It isn't going to addict them to something.
Some of them kids might be raggy, and we might have a reason to not want to smoke when we're high.
Right.
You really find the benefits of cannabis while they're pregnant, and that's the reason we're having this conversation. Like, the FDA is always gonna publish things on their website that's as if we're all living in a bubble and as if we're all the same exact person, right? So you can go to the FDA website if you want that information. We're trying to give a patient-centric opinion on cannabis and pregnancy here because there is a lot of nuance. It's really, the human experience is so much more than just living in a bubble and either using THC or not using THC. And I think that's so important to remember that we just talked about stress. Stress alone can be so terrible for pregnancy, and it has, eliminated a lot of pregnancies, unfortunately. And if we can reduce the levels of stress, that is a benefit to using cannabis as well.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree.
Let me stop this here for a second. Because now we can give them THC after, well, I don't want to get political, but we have to get, Roe v. Wade back because women should have the right to make a decision. I guess we can get them high after they had to make the worst decision of their life. We can get them high. At least that'll be better, right? Right there, skunk.
Yes, it sounds so. I don't know that.
I don't know where I'm going.
What I heard.
I feel like now that we can get them high, at least we'll get them high.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
When they get stressful, smoke a fucking
When it gets stressful, yeah, don't worry about it. We'll get
just a little bit, right?
Don't get grubby, smoke a buddy.
I completely agree that like recreational use, if we're using just to be using, just like alcohol, maybe it's not the best.
It's just like alcohol, and you shouldn't do it.
Going through HG or hyperemesis gravidarum, this is considered like a maternal health crisis that is not. It's not addressed.
I would go as far as saying, like, if you're on it and you smoke it for anxiety or mental illness, and we'll ask them or her. But I would even go as far as saying you should probably not use it still anyway, because you're missing with other meds and stuff and it still doesn't sound like she's thrilled with the idea of doing it.
Are not well educated on it. And so moms are being admitted to the hospital on a weekly basis with dehydration. They're like, some of their babies are like being stillborn. Moms should not be losing weight in like the second and third trimesters. And moms with HG are losing weight.
Jonathan, this is WTHC. It's a podcast.
And
it's the Hippie Hideaway.
Being admitted with low fluid levels.
If you're unhappy, you can move along. There's no reason to stay. But if you're interested, this is WTHC Radio. We are a radio station. We are also a podcast. We are live on Patreon and YouTube. I would appreciate some silence down there, unless you have a question, and none of this BS.
I've got a question.
Yes. Do you want to kill him?
Hold on.
No. Do not attack him. Do not attack him. Oh, go ahead.
Now, Sidrian was asking about breastfeeding and don't do it if because of THC. What if you really need it for like medical purpose? Say if you got a crumbling spine, would you rather smoke cannabis or take loads of tablets?
Oh no. I think that if you were in a situation, what she's saying is if you're in a situation where you need your medical marijuana, then take your medical marijuana. But if you can get away with not taking it while you're pregnant, then don't. But don't fear if you are sick and you need to take your medical marijuana every day. It's not really going to overly hurt your newborn baby or unborn child. They're not getting.
So I really understand. I ain't the shop.
They're getting
the shit.
Yeah, I don't think they're trying to explain to you that you're not really getting as much through the breast milk as you think you are, but it does get through is where we're at with this. I'd like to continue.
Okay.
Jonathan, are you going to continue with us? Are you going to behave yourself, young man? All right, let's go to continue. Thank you.
And then, if it's a low fluid level, your water breaks, like oftentimes that's an emergency C-section.
Yeah, that's so important bringing up HG because that is probably the number one reason why people do use cannabis during pregnancy. And HG is just constant like vomiting. Like you can't get away from being sick when you are experiencing pregnancy.
Anybody catch what HG was? I didn't know. Anybody in the audience?
I was going to ask that myself.
Yeah, I didn't catch it, and I don't think my wife ever had it because I don't remember it when we were having our children. But I wish I knew what HG was right now. If any of the ladies maybe.
See, when you paused it 1 second, happy 420.
Let's do our 420 song. It's 420, everybody. I want to thank you for joining us and hanging out. The ladies, I'm sure. Ladies, you don't mind if we play a 420 song, do you? Hell no.
Hell no, let's play some music,
Hell
man.
no, let's do it. All right, let's play our friend Seed Squatch. Here's our friend Seed Squatch. Go look him up if you want him.
Good. Days down by the swamp where I was raised, popping caps, sitting back, listening to the guitar play. The shade of blues unknown by a few, it rings inside of my head like they always do. Hype is filled, reality's killed, everything comes in twos. Yeah. On the brain is a habit strain. Smoke Lord, smiling rhyme. Yeah. Known on the plane as Miss Mary Jane. She'll get you every time. Ooh, up in the middle between the lines, smoke it rises to the top. I can't breathe, my brain is fried. I guess I'll cough till the lines stop. Human haze in a mental daze, down by the swamp where I was raised. I'm popping caps, sitting back, listening to the guitar.
WTHC. Welcome back to the podcast. This is the Hippie Hideaway and our safety check. Usually we'll be checking our devices, but today we went on because we're having the young lady on your right. I think you're right, with the longer hair. Her name is Dr. Ooh, we're having a brain fart here. Riley Kirk, Dr. Riley Kirk, and she'll be joining us tomorrow, 4 p.m. And we're gonna sit down and hang out and get to know her and talk marijuana, my favorite thing in the world.
My favorite plant.
My favorite plant too.
My favorite smoke.
Next to sweet corn, I guess. I like it pretty much.
You like sweet corn too?
Love it, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get back to it.
Pregnancy, and it can be extremely debilitating. Somebody just commented on the TikTok I posted asking for questions to talk about during this interview, and she said, I lost 40 pounds when I was pregnant, and like that is not healthy, especially when those fat reserves are so important, and like your fat signaling is so important during pregnancy. That can absolutely have adverse effects on a developing fetus. So again, it's really thinking about the patient-centric view of this, and as a harm reduction standpoint, what's more harmful, losing 50 pounds and vomiting 24/7, or like microdosing THC and not having those effects?
Right. And not having to go to the hospital every week. It's just, it's wild that
it's crazy that our government wouldn't let us do this.
Even ACOG, I just looked at
That it is.
College of Obstetrics and Gynecology, their guidelines yesterday, and they are so ancient. They do not say cannabis once. They use marijuana, and they say that there are adverse effects, but they say there may be a decrease in birth weight. There may be, it could be linked to
maybe a decrease in birth weight if I fart the wrong way one day.
Cannabis use is associated with. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the existing evidence that we have on cannabis and pregnancy. And first of all, is shit. And
it's all over the place. It's all over the place. Yeah.
Shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Shit must have hit the fan.
Sounds like Curly Kel stopped
A
by.
lot of these moms were polysubstance users, so they're using cigarettes and alcohol. So they can't pick out that cannabis was the only thing linked to this outcome, right? But we have that evidence for HG. We have that evidence for Tylenol. We have that evidence for maternal stress in pregnancy. But we do not have that conclusive evidence for cannabis during pregnancy.
Right. And
they're going to say
I
it.
Just if the evidence was that clear, we would know it. Just saying, because
we would know.
Look at alcohol and look at fetal alcohol syndrome, right? We know that alcohol contributes to adverse effects during pregnancy, but still physicians would recommend mothers have 1 glass of wine to reduce stress during pregnancy for a really, really long time, even though we knew about fetal alcohol syndrome.
But they don't talk about that much.
Stop that here for a second, because that's my sister. My sister was born fetal alcohol syndrome. My mommy thought that it was okay to have a couple of bottles of gin while she was pregnant with or whatever it was. I was only a couple months old. My sister was actually born almost 6 months premature. She was born at less than a half a pound when she was born because of fetal alcohol syndrome. And she lives with me now, and she's special needs. I take care of her every day. And she's the joy of my life besides my wife and my wonderful children, which that's a complete lie. So I hate both of my kids and my wife. So you know that. I've said that before. I think it's only a phase. It's a phase I'm going through right now, but it'll be all right. Yeah. You guys there? All right. Let's keep it going.
With cannabis and its current legal status, and how all the issues with propaganda and the thoughts of cannabis and the legal status that contribute to the feelings about cannabis during pregnancy. Because we see this completely contradicting story with alcohol, and alcohol is just part of our culture. So it's just kind of encouraged no matter what. And that's a huge problem. And I do want to keep talking about the published research. So, one of the things you'll hear talked about all the time is a lowered birth weight. And it's really really not substantially lower. And as you're saying, like there has been, to my knowledge, no completely controlled studies on cannabis and pregnancy. So, well, we'll talk about the issues with research too. There's too much to talk about. But anyway,
yeah, we're never going to get it all done.
Neurological development too. And this really is not controlled at all.
Everybody make sure you're liking and subscribing, especially if you want to be here tomorrow
your
to see
endocannabinoid system, your ECS. It's involved in every other process in your body, all of the different neurological functions in the developing fetus, right? So we really don't want to expose cannabis to a developing fetus the least amount possible, because it can affect neurological development at high doses. At least that's what the evidence suggests from a lot of like mouse studies, rat studies, and a few human studies that again really aren't controlled. But as you're saying, there's also this this kind of large boat of research on premature birth, placental abruption, small infant size, stillbirth, and newborns needing intensive care that people cite all the time. But I do not think we have substantial evidence here, like at all. And I think, you know, a lot of that data is taken from mouse studies in the 1980s. And I think we really need to reevaluate this data and try to look at it from a more unbiased.
I don't want to cause any issues. I agree. The 80s as well. Ronald Reagan, I think, and Nancy Reagan were, I'm not trying to point any fingers, but I feel like a political party may also be associated with this and what they're saying, if that makes any sense. I feel like not the people themselves, not the people of that certain political party, but the government in that political party has been holding it back from us. I don't say that it's just one political party. I think it's both political parties, but I just think one has been a little rougher on it than both. You know what I mean?
You are referring to the war on drugs, I take it?
Yeah, we won the war on drugs. Marijuana. Marijuana. Nancy can take it. Yeah, I'm sorry. No respect to Nancy. God bless her. But we won the war on drugs when it comes to marijuana. Now, they may have been right with all this other stuff with the bad drugs like cocaine, but that's the gateway to why I started cocaine, because I tried weed and there was nothing wrong with it, man. I enjoyed it. I loved it. It was great. It made me feel happy. So I said, well, if they lied to me and told me that weed was a bad drug, then I guess they're probably lying to me and telling me that cocaine is a bad drug as well, and let me go try that. Then I went out and I tried that, and then I got hooked on that, and then I was very sick for a very, very long time, 10 years even, where I may have been so sick. And then I went back to the weed, the stuff that also is illegal at that time, and that stuff helped me become clean. That's the stuff that made me get off of that bad stuff that unfortunately was also bad.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So long story short, I guess, in a brief way, I guess. So, go ahead.
Dude, I was always good with marijuana.
Yeah, I was good with it too. And then all of a sudden I got introduced to cocaine and I was like, whoa, I love the smell of that stuff. And then I realized how bad it was when I got sick and I couldn't get off of it. And I was very, very sick. And I don't recommend it to anybody. Don't ever do it. Stay away from it. It's bad. And nowadays, you can't even trust anything they put in it or what you're getting. I mean, back when I was a kid, it was maybe you got some baby powder. Now it's stuff that'll fucking kill you.
No.
Yeah, it's not funny. It's not a joke. It's one of the most biggest diseases in our country is drug addiction, and it's horrible. And it's fentanyl that's doing it now. And what was it before? It was crack, and it was heroin and meth, and people eating people's faces off because of spice and whatever else. I don't understand the mentality of people out there. No offense if you're somebody that does this. Well, yeah, kind of, I guess, a little bit of offense. But you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't try to kill people with your drugs. That's not nice. It doesn't make me happy.
And it's bad business, really.
It's bad for business too, you guys. If you're a drug pusher that likes to put fentanyl on your drugs, that's not good business. I'm telling you, you probably want to quit. I mean, I'm not telling you, you do you, but I appreciate if you'd like to think about stopping. It's not nice. I mean, why would you do that? You're just killing people.
Right. You want repeat customers.
Yeah, I want to come back for my weed. I can't even buy weed now. I have to go and I have to pay. I am mentally ill, so I make these choices myself. But I'm mentally ill. I can't ever buy from off the street again. I don't like to buy from off the street ever. Now I need to go to a dispensary. So now I need to pay those dispensary prices because I don't trust anything that comes off the street. Is that your hand up, sir? Yes. Can I help you, Skunk?
Not even flour?
I don't particularly care for it. I happen to sometimes I might, because I might know my grower. You know what I mean? If I know my grower, then I feel like I'm safe. Right. Because I feel like they're not going out and trying to kill me. But if I don't know my grower, I get nervous. I'm definitely more nervous. And I feel, and nowadays, I'm not even sure I trust all the dispensaries. Because I've already heard stories about people dispensaries being caught changing the numbers and fixing the numbers, putting stuff they picked up off the floor, putting it into a jar and labeling it good shit and putting it out the door. I mean, you can't, how do you trust anybody? How do you trust them? You don't know. They don't let you back there. A lot of my flour comes in my state. It comes in a jar. I can't even see it, or a bag. I can't even see what I'm getting. I'm getting a bag of fucking whatever darkness.
Here you don't even, you got to order it on a computer. And then the guy goes to the back and grabs you a jar or a black bag full of your flour. And hell, you don't know what it is until you get home.
Yeah, right. No, we don't. Yeah, my place, you can't. In the two places that I'm in Pennsylvania, put your hand down. I got you. I see you in the front row. Yeah.
Before I forget, let me say,
go ahead.
We voted for that here, though.
Yeah, well, your vote, you know where that your vote definitely counts when it needs to be taken, but you know it's taken for what it's worth. You know what I mean? Like, if that makes any sense, take it for what it's worth.
Yes.
I'm not saying don't vote. Everybody should vote, but you know,
absolutely,
everybody should vote. But how did we get onto that? I'm talking about weed. Yeah, you guys voted for it. I was there. I was a part of it. I talked to that representative dude. We had him on WTHC radio. He came on the phone. We weren't this technologically and smart yet. I'm just barely getting here how to run this shit. Yeah. And I don't even think it's right now. I don't even know where the hell I'm live. But
the Mark Gates or whatever his name was, correct?
Matt Gates, I think it is, or Gates, or Gates,
some senator or something here, representative.
Yeah, but then I saw he was coming out of Florida. I'm like, what? Is it the same guy? Maybe there's two guys with very similar names. I don't know. Anyway, the guy I didn't think it was. I do, but then I looked up the name and I was looking up. I'm like, that's a guy I interviewed. That's a pretty cool interview. And I went to go look up to what he looked like, and it came up like Robbie Rotten, the guy from the kids show, with Robbie Rotten in it, Lazy Town, Lazy Town. Yeah. And he kind of has that Robbie Rotten look to him, and I was like, is that him? That's pretty fucking cool, because he's kind of a bigwig in the politics out there. I mean, he's not the most overwhelmingly liked bigwig, but I understand why, because he was a douche when I was on the phone with him. I'm sorry, Mr. Douche. I mean, Getz or whatever. Getz, whatever your name was, I forgot. He gave me a hard time. He was like, "Don't matter what you guys vote for, we're just gonna change it anyway."
And you did.
And I was like, "Excuse me," and then he was like, "I'm not putting up with this no more." Boop, and he hung up on us, and I was like, "Oh my God!" That's when we had Mr. Matt Cooper from Bel Air over there at the Holistic Cloud, and all those gentlemen with Billy Blaze and all them
heroes,
the Weed Suit Heroes. We fought the law and we won.
They did.
They did. but did we really? Because you guys are still fighting. You're still fighting that bullshit. You're still fighting them. They're still being assholes. That's why you guys gotta make sure you vote, because I don't know if weed's on. It's not on there anymore, right? You're done. They didn't bring anything else back up again, because I know they were trying to.
Yeah, nothing that I've seen or coming up.
Not in November anyway. Yeah.
Right.
There, keep your eye on them, because you got to keep your eye on them. Them slick sons of bitches, and that's both sides: blue, red, purple, green, orange, whatever color you are.
Yes.
They are slick up there, and they will just slip whatever they can in wherever they can get it past you, and then there you go, it's in, and you don't even recognize it. That's the shit. That's the bullshit that we deal with here, is that they just fucking anyway. We got 20 minutes left before this show is over. We have a lot of time left on this show. She just passed. We got about an hour and maybe 50 minutes left. I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. What did that say? Cannabis, pregnancy, and breastfeeding. We'll start here.
Carboxylation of your cannabis flower happens around 250 degrees Fahrenheit. So just make sure your water is staying at around 200 degrees, and you should be all good for making your cannabis tea to help with your nausea. Yeah, so I think, again, like, we need more research on what can help with nausea and vomiting if we really do want, pregnant people to use less THC products. We need to at least give some education, some research into, like, what are the alternatives? Is there anything else that works? Does CBG work for some people? I'm not sure, because most people are just using the products that they used prior to pregnancy because they know that helps with their nausea and vomiting ahead of time. So, I mean, this is such a difficult spot to do research in. I mean, also, you can't do a controlled study where you say, hey, group 1 of pregnant women, you're all going to dose yourselves with THC, and group 2, you're not going to take any, and then we're going to see how it goes. Like, we cannot do that research. It's not ethical. So that is a huge limitation to research, the fact that we're really counting on people to be honest, but then when they are honest, we threaten to take their child. It's really messed up, and it's just perpetuating the issue of people lying to their physician, lying to their partner, lying to society, because it's the only safe way to get through pregnancy in that situation.
And I will say, because our government makes
us. And I think that CPS I think that's a really hot topic as well, because it's not only state dependent, hospital dependent, like sometimes it just boils down to the nurse that you have or the social worker that happens to be working that
and
day.
Every person has their own opinion on it. Like, you can go into one doctor's office and the nurse at the front desk will be like, oh yeah, and I'm not talking cannabis, I'm talking your regular medical doctor nowadays. And depending on the day, depending on the mood, they give you this look like you're a bad person. If they don't believe in it, they're like, oh my God. It's a fight they're having every day, Skunky. If you're tired, you can pull yourself onto the camera, bro. Just turn it a little more towards you.
I had to turn my phone, the battery was dying.
I got you. Turn it towards you so you can see yourself, because you're like only on halfway there. But for them to tell, where was I going, Raggy? Raggy, you're muted. Oh, great.
Something about moving camera, breast milk, politics, government, wankers, robbing people.
All right, thank you, you dumbass.
Places in the legal states, like the worst that would happen is that, CPS does a visit to the home and they close the case because it is so prominent. Like, they're not spending resources.
I remember when my wife and I, when we first found out we were pregnant, it happened to be Valentine's Day. And we found out, and we were like, yay. And then we were like, ooh. And she was like, I got to go to a doctor. And my first doctor's appointment has to be in the next couple of weeks. I smoke weed with you every day up until, I guess, right now. And I remember us both being petrified to death that she might show that she was hot for weed. That's all we did. We may have had a couple cocktails back in that day. We were drinkers as well. But we didn't, we weren't alcoholics or anything. We worked every day and we went, to the bar on the weekend.
Right.
We
So-
smoked weed occasionally, right? But she was being very concerned about going to the doctor for the first time, and then she quit smoking that day. God damn, I remember that day. She was so cool.
Never again, or just until?
No, never again, the bitch.
Oh,
fuck.
Well,
I'm sorry. I mean, I love you, baby. She was so cool when I met her, man. She was so cool. We used to hang out. We'd get lit. We'd laugh. We'd fucking have the greatest times. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't keep it in my pants. If I would have just kept it in my goddamn pants, we'd still be partying like rock stars, living the dream.
Yeah, too much of a good time.
Oh, man, there it goes. I get her pregnant. Immediately she quits, and she had an anxiety attack once after having the babies. She didn't smoke until we were completely done. We agreed we were completely done. We weren't having a third. We stayed with 2, and we were like, all right, we're staying with 2 because 2 sucks and 1 was okay. Sorry, number 2.
3's a freaking tribe.
2's name was almost Shatid. Remember that? So
That's right.
we were already frustrated with 1, and we were already going to name number 2 Shatid. So we were already pretty much done with wanting children at this point. But I was like, all right, we're done, baby. It's time. Let's smoke a joint. And what does she do? No. She had an anxiety attack. It was right around the time when Hydro came in, and she had an anxiety attack, and she never smoked again. And now, once in a blue moon, if she's got a couple cocktails in her, she'll take a hit off of one. And that's not even true anymore. She's a businesswoman, and in her business career, I can't even get her to do that. She's more concerned. I don't even get to talk to her. We're better off just not talking. We're better off just not talking.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
No, I do.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, no.
I'm not a guy to ask for relationship advice, I guess.
You are what? Not a right guy to ask relationship advice?
No.
Oh, me neither.
So,
I mean, unless you want the God's honest truth, then I'm perfect. I'm perfect. If you
people
don't do it. It's a trap.
It is.
It's a trap.
It ain't even a booby trap. It's just a trap.
Yeah, the boobies aren't even cool anymore. After a certain amount of years,
the boobies are.
I don't know how we went from these lovely ladies over here. I'm going to take them down. I think we're going to stop there. We'll catch up there tomorrow. How about? Oh no, tomorrow we're going to have her on. Oh well, we could still do this show, and then no, I'm not going to do this show and go right to her.
Right.
Yeah. Grandpa, just tell her to throw her off the boat. Throw her off the boat, right, Grandpa?
Absolutely.
All right, let me stop them. Get them out of here. Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging with us. I appreciate you. I look forward to meeting you tomorrow, Dr. Kirk. That being said, we got about 10 minutes left. Are you ready to go over there, old timer? Well,
no.
That's good. That's not good. The old timer
to go to bed.
I can't help it.
You got to learn how to use more than one hand there, fella.
Right.
That's what do you think I'm doing over here? I'm running videos, playing music. I'm on the radio.
Right.
Pup, I got 2 hands up.
Is Hippie on your left hand or right?
Yeah, he's on my left hand. I'm a lefty puppet. Yeah, it's very odd. Usually, you're a puppeteer with your normal hand. I was born ambi puppetrist.
Right.
I can do it with my.
I don't know. I can move the puppet more better with my left hand.
Hey, dude, let me thank you for letting me try my puppeting out on here. I appreciate it, man.
Why is this guy always chitter chattering over here when I'm trying to talk to you?
I appreciate coming up here, man. It's a superstar.
I'm just kidding. I love you, Poodle. But what I was saying is, yeah, normally you puppet with your dominant hand. Most puppeteers and then you use the stick with your non-dominant hand. Me, I use the stick with my dominant hand, and I just have this guy's hand in my ass, and then I just move to the music. Boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom, boom,
Well,
boom,
anyway,
boom,
thanks
boom.
for that, dude. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, it was fun. It was good.
Yeah.
It was good to see you at it. You did a great job. I appreciate you. 2 hours is going to be our new time. We're going to do this every day, Monday through Friday. We're going to come. We're going to hang out. Maybe we'll watch some
Hell
other
yeah.
videos. We'll find
Should
you.
have a bus
My hand got cramped.
Your hand got cramped. Yeah, it'll cramp. Make sure you drink lots of water. Your weenus is going to hurt. You'll be leaning on your weenus. It'll make your hand go to sleep the wrong way.
The skunk had a medical emergency. Had cramp.
Oh, look, T-Bro's here. What's up, T-Bro? You missed it, man. Little skunk was out. Oh, that doesn't sound right. Skunky
Yeah, the skunk master's gonna have a stiff weenus later.
Skunky had his little skunk out.
Little skunk was out.
Master skunk had his little skunk out.
Little skunk was out playing.
Little skunk was hanging out with us. Yeah,
yes, he was.
He was hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh, what a show. What a show.
Yeah.
I want to thank the ladies, even though they don't know they were here. I want to thank you ladies for coming by, and I very much look forward to them tomorrow. I apologize. I look forward to Dr. Kirk tomorrow. Dr. Kirk is going to be here tomorrow at 4 p.m. So tomorrow's show, instead of 2 to 4, it's going to be 4 to 6 because I'm going to sucker her into staying as long as I can, and hang out and get as much knowledge out of her as we can. So.
You guys sounds like a plan. I can't wait. And if everyone goes to the Patreon, it's cheap as chips and it's amazing. It's really cool over at Patreon. So everyone, please go to Patreon.
This show is gonna be probably not this one today. The one with Dr. Kirk will probably be our last free show over there. Then you gotta be a member over there to be able to see the shows. And what we'll do is we'll be coming on here on YouTube, chilling out for a little while. Come on with you, damn.
Can I hear an echo?
T-Bro, stop calling him, bro. You know he's on the air, man. Stop calling.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll come on. We'll hang out with our friends on YouTube. We'll tell everybody what's going on, who's coming on. I think next week we got and I don't know who we have next week yet. I have somebody in line, but I haven't gotten the official yes. But usually by whatever day, the next day, I'll hopefully be spreading the word of the next guest. And then you'll be able to come see us for 13 cents a day. That's all I'm asking. 13 cents a day. I think it adds up to $4.20 a month. And then you'll be a member and you'll be able to see all that fancy, cool stuff. And you can always hear it on the radio. You'll always be able to hear it on Live 365. And if TuneIn ever gets their shit together, gets me back on there.
Yeah, but why hear it when you
we were being nice to tune in, remember?
Oh, right. I got it.
We were being nice. That slipped.
I don't know what this guy's talking about. Just tell him. But yeah, you're right. What are you saying, Robert, over there? I'm sorry.
I says I'd rather watch it than listen to it, and especially if it's 13 cents a day. That's cheap.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
$4.20 a month. It's less than 13 cents a day. I think it came out to.
That also gets you into the Discord, right?
Yeah, joins our Discord, and I think that if you pay that $4.20, I think that gets you a 9x10 glossy.
Really?
Autograph glossy, yeah. So I have to look. I have to look at the rules. I want to change them a little bit because I want to fix them, but because I just threw them up to get some up there because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but. Take advantage of it now if you're gonna, because I also put a promotion on right now, half price for the $25 one, so it's like $12 a month right now, and you get a reach around from the Hippie. Yeah. I'll come by and give you a little.
And if you're lucky, he might show you his soul readers.
I will show you this. I'm still got morning wood today.
Some morning wood.
Down, boy, down. Yeah, that's what you get if you pay the $24.99 a month. You get a little bit of that every day. A little bit of the hippie one-on-one time with the hippie. Yeah, a little hippie.
Eventually, don't you get to come on one of these?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If you pay the $24.99 one, or whatever the one, I don't remember the exact prices. The $24.
You could be sitting right here beside me.
Yeah, you come up, you're gonna be a guest on the show, you'll be here for the whole 2-hour show. It will be one of the hippie hideaway ones, not the green rooms. The green rooms are for the celebrities when we meet like famous people and cool people.
Like Raggy the Baggy.
And doctors and stuff like that. And but hippie hideaways during the day, and then you're gonna win other items like hosting. You can name the songs. Like I'll give you the day. You can pick the whole 4-hour show.
The whole hour.
No, the whole 4-hour show. You got to give me 75 songs and 8 420 songs, and then I will play that whole list. That's another thing you get for the 24. And that's once a month, so you'll get to do that every month, once a month. And if you get good at it, shit, I'll even give you a job. You can come do it. But there's lots of stuff. There's going to be lots of bonuses to this whole thing. I want to thank everybody for being here. Please like, subscribe, and share. We're only getting bigger from here. I think I finally found some platforms that are not going to kick me off every time I fucking talk. Fuck, I can be an adult. Patreon, thank you. YouTube, thank you. Oh my God!
Like, share, and don't forget to follow.
I'll be doing a lot of sharing a lot of stuff onto Facebook. Like I went and I shared this to like 45 rooms, 50 rooms just now, the live. So I'm hoping that some of these people are watching it live on Facebook right now, and I just can't see it because it's in every hippie and every radio station podcast, room. Share your podcast room and stuff like that. So I apologize for spamming you guys all, but that's what it says. It says share your shit here. So I did, yeah. I wanted you to come check us out. We are the Hippie Hideaway podcast. We're no podcast. That's why I'm always so confused. What category do I go in? They have a podcast and they have other types of programming, but I never see podcast. So we're starting
we should be a podcast.
I think that's genius, man.
We are genius. I got it from some guy. I am not going to mention his name because he's a jerk. But I'm stealing it, and it's mine now. Podcast. I love it.
There you go.
Unless somebody else already did it, then of course we're sharing.
I've never seen one.
Well, this is the first official podcast ever.
Here we go then.
Hell yeah, baby! I got to get ready to go because I got to go take care of something. And he seems to want to be taken care of here. I'm gonna go. Anita. All right, I'm gonna go get laid.
I better go turn on my radio.
Have Anita play some music for a minute, man. I got to use the restroom.
Oh, for Christ's sake! I was gonna go hang out.
Oh my days!
All right.
Well, go ahead.
Anita's gonna take care of the music, and everybody over here. I want to thank you so very much for being here and hanging out with us. I'm gonna start us off. I'll get us started before Anita even gets here with a pocket full of pre-rolls.
I'll be right back.
Mofos. Everybody over here on YouTube, Patreon, or wherever the hell you found us, thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow, 4:00, with Dr. Riley Kirk, PhD. Until next time, peace, love, hippie hugs, and a whole shitload of nugs. You can find us on WTHC Radio on Live 365. I love you. Peace.